Elon Musk just announced that he's going to be forming a gaming company to compete against the legacy game companies that exist. Now, I want to take this time to address a couple concerns that I have, not about his specific company, but about the industry as a whole and all companies, all industries in general, and how AI is going to affect them in the future. Unfortunately, I believe that it's going to be an overall negative effect for humanity. The reason I say this is because I look at everything through a psychological lens, and I look at the psychological behavior in human nature of what we are as a species, okay? And in general, when you look at that and when you study that, you'll see that if people can get away with doing less and making more money, 9 out of 10 times they're going to do it. And we see this blatantly in the gaming industry. Like I said, this permeates all industries, all sectors of business as well. However, the gaming industry is what my channel is about, so that's what I'm going to shine a light on here today. So when AI comes into play, you have to think about how the developers, how the publishers, how the people who own the intellectual properties are going to use it. Now, it's just a tool, right? Technology is just a tool that humans can use to make things. They can use that tool for good or for evil, right? But the problem is, most of the time, we want to use the tools to create things with less work so that we make more money, okay? And we see this happening in all game companies in today's day and age. Companies will churn out the same crap over and over again while still charging customers the same, if not higher and higher prices as time goes on. Which means we're getting, worse products overall, right? And it stems from a place of greed. So you got to understand that humans only create things, we only make things in general for 2 reasons. Only 2. Are there more than 2 reasons? Yes, but I'm saying in general, the vast majority. If you plotted something on a bell curve, right, and you normalized all the graphs and all the standard deviations into how we create things, and you add up all the reasons, most of them are just for 2 reasons. People either create things out of a sense of greed, okay, trying to earn money, right? You're trying to gain something from it monetarily, or out of love and passion, because you want to make art. You want to create something that resonates with you, that makes you feel some type of way, and you hope to arise some type of feeling out of the people that consume your product or your art or your music, like I said, what have you, your movie. So if you had to come up with a number, how is this distributed, right? Like what percent out of 10 products are made with love and how much are made with greed in mind? In my experience, I'm only speaking from my experience here, it's about, 90 to anywhere from 90 to 95% greed. Most things are made with the idea of making money. That's the reason businesses exist. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, people are evil because that's what they're doing. No, I'm just saying that objectively, systemically, this is the truth, right? People are making these games, publishers are making these games, not because they love you or because they love me or because they even love the product, but it's because they want to make as much money as possible. Now, there's developers, right, that are separate from the publishers. These are the people that literally sit on their computers for hours a day coding the games, that spend time making bosses and secret levels and level up and progression systems and things like this. A lot of times the developers are the ones that are very passionate. And we can see this, okay? You can study this just by looking online, by perusing social media and seeing fan art. You will see that people will spend days, weeks, months, sometimes even years of their life building a product that they don't make a penny on, all right? They don't sell it. They don't try to market the product. They don't try to get anyone to buy it. They just make it because it's pure love and passion that they have for whatever they're creating, for the art. But that's not the businesses, okay? The businesses are the suits at the top. They're driven by one thing and one thing alone, and that's money and that's profits, okay? So as long as you understand that, it's not too hard to think and to extrapolate forward into the future to see where is all this headed when AI comes into play, right? When you all of a sudden have robots, artificial minds like Ultron that can create games, create art, create movies and music within minutes, within seconds, within days or weeks versus months and years that it takes humans to create, you can see where this is headed. We're going to get an influx of absolute garbage, trash, AI-generated things that are soulless. They have no heart, they have no soul, they have no passion involved. And it's going to hurt the majority of consumers, hurt the majority of artists out there. And who's going to benefit from this, you ask? Well, it's only going to be the few, the 1% at the top that own the intellectual properties. So I want you to imagine, you guys, you're owning a company, right? And I'm going to talk about video games, but pretend this is literally any company. You own a video game company, and you have your boardroom, right? Your board of directors, which is like, just imagine like a nice big round table, and you have 10 people, 15 people sitting there at that table with you. Those are all the big executive officers, right? The CEO, the CFO, the CTO, all the different types of chief executive officers. They're all there, okay? And they're the board of directors. They're the guys at the top that tell the worker bees what to create, what to do. Well, they only account for like 1% of the company, right? If you add up the employees, that company might have 100, 1,000, 10,000 employees. Go look up all these companies: Activision, Microsoft, Nintendo, Ubisoft, From Software. Look at how many employees that they have. They all have hundreds, if not thousands of employees. What occurs, you guys, when you have an AI, when you have an Ultron, or God forbid, more than one type of Ultron that works for you, that you own, that can code 1,000,000 times faster than all of your employees combined? What are you going to do? What's the logical conclusion? Where does this end? I'll tell you where it ends. It ends with you firing 99% of your workforce. All the companies that exist in today's day and age, I firmly believe in the next 10, 20 years, they're going to be able to fire 99% of their employees. Why? Because you won't need them anymore. Yes, you're going to need some engineers and a couple of the top coders out there, right, that know how to program, that are going to have to fix and work with the AI, work with the Ultron, to fix things when things go wrong. But other than that, you're going to get rid of your entire workforce because you don't need them anymore. When the AI can do the work as good, if not better, than all of your employees combined, it's just the correct business decision to make. And that's very scary to think about, right? So you look at, Facebook and Apple and Google and all these companies where they have thousands of employees now. But in the future, it's like, why are you going to keep all of them around when you can just have 10 Ultrons working for you that they don't need to eat? They don't need to sleep. They never get sick. They don't take sick days. They don't take vacation days, right? You don't have to worry about them, sneaking around and breaking things inside of the company physically, right? Unless, of course, you inhabit that consciousness of the robot, of the AI, into a physical robot, which will happen, of course. But when you weigh all the pros and cons, the risk and the reward, and you're the executive of the company, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, why would I pay 100 people, 50 grand a year when I can just buy one artificial intelligence for 200 grand a year? You see? And then that robot's going to cost less, right? Overall, it's going to cost them less, and it's going to be 100 times more productive, minimally 100 times more productive. So unfortunately, like I said, I really think that this is going to be a crossroads in humanity going forward with AI and video games and all companies in general, where companies that are right now thousands of employees, hundreds and thousands of employees, they are going to be 10, 20, and about 100 employees. So all those people that do remain at the top, they're just going to be the people that just literally sit in the boardroom and talk to the AIs like I'm talking to you. They're going to talk to the Ultron and say, okay, let's do this, let's do this. And the Ultron's going to be smarter than it's going to be smarter than all of these guys, right, combined. But they're the ones that own the intellectual property, right? The Zuckerbergs, the Gates out there. They're the ones that own the names of Facebook and Microsoft and Xbox. So anything that's created underneath those names, all of the profits, are going straight to the few people at the top. Meanwhile, all the worker bees, the you and the me's, we're going to be cut out entirely. They don't need us anymore. So the rich are going to talk about the rich getting richer. The millionaires are going to become billionaires, and the billionaires are going to become trillionaires because of this. I firmly believe it. And the gap between the rich and the poor is going to be absolutely astronomical. And besides all of that, as far as entertainment is concerned, think about Hollywood with movies. They're going to be able to just take, any actor they want. They're not going to have to act anymore. They'll just take their face, they'll scan their face, they'll have them read a few lines, which will take 10 minutes, give them different vocal prosodies, different vocal tones and emotions. Say this line in a happy voice, say this line in a sad voice. And then they're just going to take that, plug it in, and the AI is going to be able to generate movies with that actor or actress within minutes, seconds, or days versus weeks, months, and years, right? So actors are going to get super rich out of this, and the AI is they're just going to sign away their AI rights. And then they're going to be sitting on a beach somewhere, and there's going to be 20 movies that come out that same year with that same actor or actress in it. And do you think this is all going to be high quality products? Because I sure don't. I think most of it, like I said, 90% of it I think is going to be trash. It's going to be garbage that nobody's going to want to interact with. But when that's all that's coming out, people are essentially almost going to be coerced into buying said products. So with video games, we can see it, man. We can see it in today's day and age that if you just, like Dragon Age, the Veilguard is a perfect example. If you just look at the dialogue and you just watch a few cutscenes of that game and the way the characters speak to one another, it's as if a human gave an AI a script or a general idea, an outline, plugged it in, and then the AI just spat out this basic, boring dialogue. That isn't to say, please don't misunderstand me, that isn't to say that in the future AI is not going to be incredible, because I truly believe it will be. Eventually it will be better than us, than human creativity. Because it can just scan an infinite number of realities and universes within seconds, whereas it takes us, the human brain, we're so limited, right? Flesh and bone. So as of right now, for the foreseeable future, it's going to be garbage. It's going to be really just trash products coming out. And every time I hear companies saying that they're going to be using AI for anything, I'm just like, oh, there's a few things like for bugs, fixing bugs and things like that. It's like, okay. But everything else that I've seen so far, man, it is not good. So I really think that until it can surpass the human heart, right, the heart and soul, which will take time, and I do believe it will come, until that can occur, we still are going to need the passionate people out there. So Marty O'Donnell, if you guys don't know who that is, he's the creator, the composer of the Halo music. And Halo music is, in my opinion, and many people's opinions, some of the greatest video game music ever composed, ever created. All right, it's so passionate, so beautiful and raw and from the heart. You can tell there was a lot of passion put into it. He offered to work with Elon on this new, gaming studio, and I hope they get together because they both believe in freedom of speech as well. And if you know anything about me or my channel, freedom of speech is paramount. I hold freedom of speech in such a high regard that I believe everyone should be able to speak their minds, say what you want, no matter how mean or nasty you want to be. I believe you have the right as a human being to say what you feel and what you think without the fear of, getting your channel blacklisted or canceled or deleted. I do believe you should be punished for your actions, right? If you go and physically harm somebody, but sticks and stones, you guys, sticks and stones break your bones. Words don't hurt you. At least they didn't. Now people get hurt by pretty much anything. People get hurt by breathing or existing. So yeah, that kind of sums it up. I believe that most companies are going to downsize about 90% of their employees. Most people are going to lose their jobs. AI is going to replace most of our jobs, which is awful. We're going to need, universal basic income, because who can compete with an AI? And if you think you can, I got news for you. There's a 90 to 95%, up to 99% chance that whatever job you're doing currently, AI is coming for it too. Pretty much everyone's going to be out of their job. So hopefully those people, those trillionaires at the top, the ones that I mentioned, the guys that are going to get super rich, that own the intellectual properties, which are going to become the most important thing. I've always said that actually since I was a kid and I first learned what intellectual properties are. They're just ideas, they're concepts. So the people that own the ideas are the ones that are going to become the richest. If you own a good idea, then you're going to have the robots, the Ultrons, go build that idea. Then you're going to be sitting pretty. So we're going to have to count on them, the kindness of strangers, to help take care of the rest of the world. And we'll see how that goes with human greed involved, because as we've seen, trickle-down economics don't really work so well. We see that the rich kind of just hoard their money and don't like to, give to people that need it. So we'll see how this all plays out. I could be right. I could be completely wrong, and I'd be happy to be wrong. I kind of hope that I am. I hope that AI plays a very small part going forward, but I don't believe that at all. I believe that it's going to play an increasingly greater part in game development, movie development, music development, everything. It's going to permeate every business out there. So those are just my thoughts. I am the Lion of Truth. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed the video. So yeah, I know it's a little different than what I normally do, but I had to get these thoughts out there. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but this Elon Musk news with Marty O'Donnell commenting on the tweet, I really loved how Marty tweeted. He's like, hey, do you need music for your game studio? And I'm like, please, Elon, hire Marty. Hire him. Because Marty's one of the few composers left, one of the few people out there that truly has passion and love inside of his heart and his soul. So I really think that if he combines that with Elon and his love and their love for freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which is so important when you're creating art, oh man, I really think it could be something special. I really do. I think they could create something special. And my last point, by the way, is that competition breeds excellence. That's one of my favorite quotes. I'll say it again. Competition breeds excellence. So I think that if they form this game studio, this is going to be they're going to be a huge competitor to Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, Ubisoft, all these companies that exist out there now, EA, that desperately need real competition because they're kind of competing with each other, but they don't step on each other's toes too much. They need someone like Elon, like Marty, to come in, really shake up the industry. And I think that would create more excellent products for us, the consumers overall. We will get better products at cheaper prices, by the way, cheaper prices, not going from $60 to $70 to $80 to No, per game, no. Things should be getting cheaper over time. Because games are getting easier to make, and don't you dare let anyone lie to you about that. Games are getting cheaper and easier to make. Go look at Unreal Engine 5, the most powerful game engine in the world, bar none. It's free. It's free. So when people say that games are getting more expensive to make, don't believe it at all. It's bullcrap. All right? Take care, guys. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Speak your mind. Say what you got to say. Okay, take care.